Well, here we are, Raptor fans. The round one preview video between the Toronto Raptors and the Washington Wizards. Now, we heard yesterday after both games that the Wizards kind of lost their game because they kind of want to play the Raptors. They want to face us. Okay. I mean, they're a good team. They made the playoffs. They're struggling as of late, yes, but what they do have is Bradley Beal and John Wall. Now, I don't care. I mean, you know, Otto Porter has a sore leg, but assuming he'll be in for the playoffs, and Mike Scott, same thing. You know, I don't know if actually he has concussion, so I don't know if he'll. That was today. He was placing concussion protocol. So whatever. I mean, let's say everybody's healthy. They have a strong team. The Raptors, though, are the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't care what anybody says about the 2015 year. I don't care what anybody says about how great of a year Bradley Beal has had and how they've done very well without John Wall. This is 1 versus 8. The Raptors should take care of business. They should beat the Washington Wizards single-handedly. Now, the Wizards are going to put up a fight. They're going to be a hard team to face. And I think the big key for this Raptor team is game number 1. You find a way to come out and put that first punch in there, and you punch them right in the gut. Because, you know, if you lose, the Raptors are on their heels. The whole NBA starts laughing again. And it's just a joke. Game 1, Saturday evening, 5:30 tip-off at the Air Canada Centre. That is the big matchup. That is the big game for the Raptors, is Game 1. Can they do it? I heard in the comments that they did win a Game 1 against Philadelphia back in the day, but they've not won it in a very long time. And this would be a great time to win Game 1 at home. Now, I'm not 100% on this, guys, but I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get down there for Game 1 in the Square so we can get pumped up and watch our Raptors beat the Wizards in Game 1. Again, if you guys do not follow the Twitter down below, please do so. That's where I will be letting you guys know the official word on if I will be down there or not for Game 1. I will be down there for Game 1 for the Leafs. Just didn't know if I don't know if I'll be able to make it in time for the Raptors. I'll keep you guys posted on that kind of stuff. But more to this series and what the Raptors need to do to win. They need to defend the way they've defended over the last little while. I mean, except for Wednesday against Miami. They've done a terrific job except for that game. They got to continue to do that. And the key is knock down your shots. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to shoot 35 threes. You don't need to do that, even though that's what they're going to do. And CJ Miles, we talked about it in the last video, in the Miami video, that CJ Miles has to be big for this team. We saw in the Miami game where CJ Miles really didn't get anything going, 1 of 7 from 3. And then you had Wayne Ellington come out and just light the show up. A guy that you kind of compare CJ Miles to, but that CJ, as of late, has been outshined by a mile. And we need CJ to knock down his threes. And don't take stupid contested threes with a guy's arm in your face. When you get your wide open looks, which he will get, knock them down. The bench has to continue to move the ball, get good looks. Again, knock down their shots. Hopefully Fred VanVleet, I understand it was a bruised shoulder. I know about that. I don't know how serious it is. Doesn't sound too bad. So I'm hoping he's ready for Game 1 of the playoffs. He needs to be big. DeMar and Kyle, look, and JV, those 3 guys are the guys that were with this team when we faced the Washington Wizards back in 2015. They know what that sweep felt like. And I know them and ourselves, we do not want to see that again. We don't even want to lose a series, period, to the Wizards, because this team is a lot better than that 2015 Raptors team. They don't have Paul Pierce. Clearly, they're not playing great basketball over the last little while. Why? I'm not sure. But the playoffs are a different beast. It brings out the big in some players. You know, you go through their roster and who can be a big impact. Well, they have some big factors. Obviously, Bradley Beal. They just signed Ty Lawson. And I mean, not too long ago, he was the premier player for the, for the Denver Nuggets back a little while ago. You know, then they got Satoransky, who's been a pain in the Raptors' rear this season. John Wall, we already know. Markieff Morris. So many Morrises in the dang league. Kelly Oubre Jr., he's been great. Otto Porter, Mike Scott, and obviously Gortat in the middle. But I think JV is going to do a terrific job against Gortat. I think that's going to be a big matchup the Raptors have to exploit and really pound it inside to JV. Let him go to work against Gortat. Gortat's an older guy, not as physical as he used to be. JV's still young and getting even better and showing it. He has been terrific. He's got to continue to do so. I mean, you look at the way these teams match up. You know, their field goal percentage, Raptors have a better field goal percentage. You look at three-point field goals. Yes, we've made more, but the amount of threes we've taken, it's a ridiculous amount. Three-point field goal percentage, however, the Raptors are 18th. They're third in the NBA in three-point percentage. That's a big stat right there. That's a huge stat that I'm praying to goodness does not, really hurt the Raptors. A positive thing, they're not a good rebounding team. You know, the Raptors were 13th in the league in rebounding. They were 21st. The offensive glass, we were 14th. They were 13th. But assists, they had more assists. Steals, we had more steals. Turnovers, that was a problem for them. They averaged 14 turnovers a game. And the great thing for the Raptors is we are one of the best teams in the league when it comes to points off of turnovers. Raptors are fourth best when it comes to not turning the ball over. They are 18th. That could be a big thing that the Raptors could exploit. So you have JV being a big factor. You know DeMar and Kyle are going to have tough times because they're going to focus their 100% on those guys. So you need a guy like Serge Ibaka, JV, even OG, and then the bench to do their work. You're going to need those guys to do their thing. And it's just going to be a fight of a series, guys. Don't expect to go into this 1 versus 8 and expect a sweep. We got to take it game by game. And like I said right off the top, game 1 is going to be the biggest one of the series because it's really going to dictate how good this Raptor team is and how much they can dominate the Wizards. You know, the Raptors are tied with the Houston Rockets for the best home record in the Eastern Conference in the regular season. Look, the Raptors, even though they came first, even though they broke a bunch of records, even though the bench was terrific, and DeMar and Kyle found different ways of helping the team, and JV's taken his game to a different level, no one except for us Raptor fans believe in the Toronto Raptors because it's the playoffs. And everyone's like, they lost to Miami. Oh, Raptors are in true form. Here we go. Here comes the collapse. Just because they don't get 60 wins. Miami played the Raptors tough all season long. That is a main reason of why I didn't want to see them. Since the Raptors lost to the Wizards back in 2015, the Raptors are 8-3 against the Wizards in regular season play, of course. That's a good number, but it's the playoffs. So it's as we can talk about how great the regular season was, but then it all does a full circle, and then you run right into, but it's the playoffs. We've talked about it all year, guys. Even in the tough losses, we're like, you know what, that one sucks, but the playoffs is what really matters. Now we're here. This is what really matters. The players are pumped. The fan base, I think we're all excited, but we're optimistically nervous, if you guys know what I mean, right? We're excited. We're like, let's get it going. We're the number 1 seed. We're feeling great. Let's get into the playoffs and start cruising. But there's always in that back of our mind, it's the playoffs. Can DeMar and Kyle do well? And can the rest of the team, if those guys aren't doing it, can the rest of the team take over and do their work? That's something we're going to have to wait and see as we get closer to tip-off on Saturday afternoon or early evening. And we're going to be able to tell within the first few games where this Raptor team sets. Where do they sit among this team against the Washington Wizards? Are they in a different class? Or are they back to their old ways? it's all remained to be seen, and we'll figure that out Saturday evening. It's going to be a fun one. I can't wait. Guys, like I said, I'm not 100% sure about going down for game 1, if I can make it or not. But please, if you guys want to go down, and if you guys are already planning on going down, please either let me know in the comments or DM me on Twitter. Because if you guys want to watch the game with myself and I'm going down with a buddy or two, it'll be a blast. It'll be a lot of fun. I know you guys are going to have a great time. I'm going to have a great time if I can get a chance to go down for the Raptor game, for the Leaf game for sure. And game 1 for the Leafs is in, like, what? An hour. Oh, I'm excited. But as for the Raptors, we're all thinking game 1. And that's the way we got to approach every single game throughout this series. Each game at a time. Look, the Raptors have the best record in the Eastern Conference. They had tied for the best home record in the league. You are playing at home against the number 8 seed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The Raptors should beat the Wizards. And I have confidence in this team, the way they've played all year round, that they can do it. But it's the playoffs. We go back to that whole thing. So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video and you guys are ready for Raptor playoffs, hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What are your expectations for this series? How long do you think it's going to go? Who's going to win the series? Who's going to be the big factor for each team possibly winning? Do you think it's going to be JV for the Raptors? Do you think Gortat's going to rip JV? I don't think it's going to happen. But do you think that's going to be? Do you think Otto Porter's going to be a big problem for this team? I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's break down the series. Let's talk about it. This is all about discussion. This is round 1 preview. It's not about me making my pitch and anything. I'm just giving you guys a few stats that I'm seeing, a few thoughts that I have, and it's mainly for you guys and myself to discuss what we're feeling heading into this and what our expectations are, all right? So you know what, guys? We will talk to you guys next Wednesday, podcast edition. I guess it's now this Wednesday coming up. Podcast edition. Raptors, Leafs, Jays. Link is down in the description for the podcast channel and the podcast itself on iTunes. The link is down there. Like I said, DM me on Twitter, guys. Link is in the description below. If you guys are interested in heading down for game 1 of the Raptors playoffs, and if you guys do follow me up on Twitter, you guys will know when I let you know if I'll be heading down for game 1 between the Raptors and Wizards, 5:30 tip-off there on Saturday night. And we'll talk to you guys Blue Jays edition tomorrow as they open up the 3-game set against the Cleveland Indians. Mike Clevenger, I think it's Mike Clevenger versus Marcus Stroman. Jays looking to get back in the win column after that tough loss last night to the Baltimore Orioles, though they still won the series. We'll talk to you guys Leafs edition tonight. Leafs, Bruins, game 1, baby! And I also, game 2, I will be at that game down at the outside Maple Leaf Square, or inside Maple Leaf Square, I guess, for game 2 between the Leafs and Bruins, 8 p.m. puck drop there on Saturday night. But as for right now, we'll talk to you guys Leafs edition, I guess in like, what, 3-4 hours? As the Leafs look to start the series on the right note and just really put the Bruins on their heels in game 1, all right? So we'll talk to you guys then, and we'll talk to you guys Raptors edition. It'll be Saturday night, Raptors, Wizards, game 1, Air Canada Center. It's at 5:30 tip-off, but if I'm down at the Square for the Leafs, the video will be uploaded later that night for you guys, but it will be uploaded that night. Raptors, Wizards, game 1, round 1. Let's prove all these haters wrong and start game 1 on the right note. We'll talk to you guys then.